Not good news for us either, Kia. So we need to get more sleep. All right, well, for years, banks have been trying to lure customers to open checking accounts with everything. We're talking toasters, iPods, you name it, they're offering it up. Well, today they're just resorting to cold, hard cash. And one of our viewers actually had a question about it. She says, I got an advertisement in the mail the other day from Chase offering a $100 gift card if I opened a checking account with them. Should I do it? Okay, so here to answer her question is the watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Yeah, you're right about that. You guys get here early.
We do, and it's sad when you find out you can't catch up on the sleep. I always try on the weekends.
But with this is interesting. And make sure you have your handy-dandy electron microscope at home to read the very fine print in regards to these offers, because you're going to see a lot of these things now. Banks will spend an enormous amount of money to go ahead and try to get new customers on board, but there's also caveats involved. Certain ones will say you must establish an automatic deposit account, meaning that your paychecks go in automatically, because then the bank feels, okay, you're not going to go anywhere. They may also require you to do X amount of transactions on a debit card, so you may end up paying that $100 fee back over a period of time. Banks aren't stupid. They don't want to throw money away. Don't expect to go to a bank and say, here you go, here's a couple $100, give me my $100. It's not going to work that way.
Well, it makes sense, because when it comes down to it, they just want to get consumers to open accounts most profitable to them.
Absolutely. Any other business.
Okay, and let's talk about the fact that sometimes they send out these offers, but there are restrictions to them, and only certain kinds of people actually qualify for them. It's not open to just anybody who thinks this is a good deal.
Yeah, that's why you always have to read, you know, the fine print in regards to these things. And there was some number, I think, in an article that came out yesterday, about 30 to 40% of the people that actually get these offers actually qualify. People actually end up being shocked after the fact, like, where's my $100? Where's my, you know, $200? Got to go back to the toasters, because I think everybody got those.
Everybody can get the toasters or those iPods. I know, I was reading about Capital One. They were offering $200, but it turns out that it was only good in one of 4 states that actually offered the rewards program. So that limits many people from not being able to actually get these deals, and who knows if they even qualify.
Well, they also have savings deals as well. I got a call from my banker the other day saying, hey, why don't you, establish some like passbook savings accounts for your kids. We'll give them $75, and every single time they come in, they get to pick from a toy, which is a good way to encourage savings. But the bank says, okay, that money is going to stay here, and it's going to go on our books. So there's different ways of handling it. But once again, understand that, the fallacy of free. Nothing is free. They're trying to make money just like any other business.
If it sounds too good to be true.
Thanks, Kia. Well, this week, some of the big banks that took taxpayer money to stay afloat are announcing record profits and disclosing how much they've shelled out in bonuses. Some are even starting to pay back or have paid back the money they borrowed. But today, the Obama administration is taking it a step further by taxing some banks $90 billion over the next 10 years to help recoup more of the bailout money. What will this mean, though, to customers of those banks? Here to talk about this taxing situation is the watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
All right, so if we've got these banks that are now, again, back to being profitable, many of them have paid back. Am I right that many of them have already paid back all the money they borrowed?
Many of them paid it back, and they've actually paid back even more.
With interest.
Taxpayers made money on many of the deals with certain banks. Some of them haven't yet. Citigroup has not yet, but many of them have.
Okay. So if that's the case, why are we talking about now a tax on these banks?
Well, we still have shortfalls in regards to the TARP. A lot of that has to do with GM, Chrysler, and AIG. And the government wants to make that up. And how they're going about doing it, they want to go to the existing banks, the 50 largest banks out there, and say, you guys have got to pay us $90 billion over the next 10 years to make up that shortfall. That's not, in my opinion, a very good idea, simply because we want these banks to lend. This is obviously going to take $90 billion of money that they could be lending to people, helping to get the economy going, and just giving it right back to the government, not to mention the fact that these banks are just going to pass the costs on down to the consumer. That's what all companies do. If you buy a cup of Starbucks, you're paying Starbucks' corporate tax. It's priced in to everything that you buy. So all these things are just going to get passed on down to us, the consumer.
Okay, but what about, we have a young Uncle Sam here in the studio who's currently counting our tax dollars, and he looks very happy. What about the Uncle Sam that says we got to go somewhere to get back this money that we've lost on all these? I mean, you would say...
You sure he's counting tax dollars, not Chinese yuan or something like that?
Actually, yeah, it could be. At this point, it could be. But what about, I mean, is there a better way for us to go about recouping more of the money that was, quote-unquote, bailout money? Well,
the reality is the more money that any company makes, the more money they're going to end up paying in taxes, also through their employees. You know, where we're all upset about all these banker bonuses right now, myself included. I don't like any of this nonsense. I've been an advocate for breaking up these big banks for over 10 years now. Now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. The reality is that the state of New York is thrilled. They can't wait because, you know what, all these executives are making money and it's going to fill their tax coffers. So, you know, it's a balancing act that the government has to go on. Some of these things we're not going to make our money back. You think we're going to make our money back in GM and Chrysler anytime soon? You're crazy. It's not going to happen.
Okay. Always good stuff, Chris. Thank you so much.